My name is James Rowlands, and I am a lifelong wrestling fan. In 2015, I started a podcast with my friend, Dan White, reviewing the WWE Network and seeing if it's worth the $9.99 a month. It was. And since then, every month we watch the latest WWE pay-per-views, NXT, and now 205 Live. Still continuing our journey through the network, watching ECW, WCW, and all its classic content. Until we've watched it all, we are with you, and we are the WNR. Yes, hello, I am James Rowlands, and as always, I am joined by
Dan White.
And it is episode 103 today, and that means we are live for NXT Takeover Kickoff, Dan!
Woo!
We started now. The event kicks off in an hour's time. We're going to do all the build-up for you. Dan, for NXT Takeover.
I am very excited. There's a lot of exciting matches to look forward to, and hopefully it meets up to the past. It meets up to the past NXT Takeover events that we've seen.
Yeah, I'm really hoping tonight they truly deliver. Because we have a lot of build up for this stuff because it never disappoints, does it? Sometimes we think to ourselves, oh, it's not going to be the greatest show, but it always does. So what we're going to do basically in the next kind of 45 minutes, we're going to go for the WWE kickoff on the network starts at 12:30. But what we're going to do, we're going to run through the match card, every single match, what we're excited for, and also we're going to give away the WNR t-shirt and a very exciting competition that we've got, and also the UK Championship is defended tonight with Tyler Bate, and we're going to find out who he will face, whether it will be Trent Seven or Pete Dunne. But just run through the match card quickly, Dan, and of course the main event. Should we start with the main event? I think we should. It is the NXT title on the line, and it is Bobby Roode versus Hideo Itami. It's a match I can't wait for. It's unbelievable. Another match, Dan?
The next match is the NXT Women's title. That is a triple threat match between Asuka, Ruby Riott, and Nikki Cross.
Yeah, and it's another one I'm excited to see. And I think the other one that I think will steal the show, the NXT ladder match, DIY versus the Authors of Pain as well. Yeah,
looks like a great match. You've also got Strong going against Eric Young.
Yes, which is a bit of a weird one, but like I say, we'll go into more detail of them all. And of course, the UK Championship. Well, speaking of the UK Championship, Dan, there was this special that was on Friday, the 19th of May. So we're going to watch this now. Will it be Trent Seven? Will it be Pete Dunne? So let's get to watching. So, Dan, what do you think of these two men?
Well, I think these two are great wrestlers. These are two that I chose in the original UK tournament, so I've got high hopes for both these fellas. So either one, I'll be happy.
Yeah, well, I know we always talk about your great record with tournaments, of course, dating back to the CWC and with the UK title as well. Like you said, part of Moustache Mountain, Trent Seven, his partner Tyler Bate went on to win the championship. But in this one here, I mean, it would be a great opportunity for Trent Seven to go on to face Tyler Bate, wouldn't it? I mean, who would you back in that one between Seven and Bate if Seven wants to get the job done tonight?
I don't know. I think I'd have to go for Tyler Bate in that one because he's beaten him before and he seems the more likely to win the match.
Yes,
for me.
Well, we'll see what happens this one in the early going. We should say that each other's just feeling the other one out. But we see Seven getting his arm injured by Wolfgang in the Saturday tapings of the UK Championship. And Dunne shows up and attacks the arm as well after he was seen by the doctors. And it's a classic heel, isn't it? He smirked and walked away. And then we had the Pro versus Dunne match. Who would be the number one contender? Dan, what did you think of the promo?
I thought it was a good promo. It showed a bit of what they went through to get where they are, how they come through the tournament, and who they had to beat. So yeah, it was a good build-up for these two wrestlers, and shows Pete Dunne likes to break fingers.
Well, exactly, and he's going to work on that arm. That's going to be a strategy in this one, of course. But with Trent Seven, he's got his one-armed man in this contest against one of the most dangerous guys, like we say, the Bruiserweight. Both our picks in the UK tournament here. And he's going to work on the arm in the early going with Trent Seven, of course.
Well, that arm's got a bit of a bullseye on it now.
Yes, it has, and this is what he's got to try and avoid. In the early going as well, we had the Bruiserweight chance, and of course we had the Moustache Mountain chance as well. Dunn's just going to try and get hold of that arm. And Seven catches him with a huge chop in the chest.
So who are you going to go for in this match then?
In this one here, I think it's difficult. If Seven was 100%, I probably would back him. But with that arm, and I know how nasty Pete Dunne can be, I can't look past him, you know? I mean, what about you?
Well, 100% Trent. I think he can go on to do great things, especially, he's got a good tag team alliance with Tyler Bate. But I don't know, Pete Dunne is starting to get a bit of a reputation for himself.
Yes, well, in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way, but as a heel, a very heelish guy.
Do you think we ever will see Trent Seven and Tyler Bate teaming up in WWE?
I'd like to see it, yeah. I've commented before that both wrestlers, they look like a very classic style wrestling team, so that'd be right up my alley.
So as we see in the match as well, Pete Dunne, the British style of wrestling, which is a more technical side to it, slowing it down as well, and a huge football-like kick to that arm, and it sends Trent Seven flying out the ring trying to get. And we know anything about Pete Dunne, he never leaves you alone. Now he's going to chase him with those steel steps. Seven trying to get away, and that huge forearm nearly knocking Trent Seven's face off. Now he's got his hand, and he's putting it in between the stairs and the ring post.
He's certainly looking to work over Trent Seven.
Well, I think he's going to break the arm if he does move like that. Like I say, the stairs between the ring posts, and now Seven is in serious trouble. And we know how good Pete Dunne is, and he looks on, and he gets the adulation from the crowd as well. I mean, do you think Pete Dunne, we talk about it, do you think he's got a bright future ahead of him?
Yeah, very bright. He's certainly playing the heel role really well. And, if he carries on like he is, he's got a really bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, I think he has as well. And this is a great thing, especially with an NXT event like we're watching now as well. We're kind of making this our kickoff match because they don't have one on NXT. But it's the young guys seeing what future they have ahead of them as well. Some guys do make it, of course. Some guys. And it'll be interesting to see in the Trent Seven and Pete Dunne way which way it goes. As Pete Dunne now complete control of this match, isn't he, Dan?
He is, yeah. He started off targeting the arm, which is, Dunne's forte as it is. But, we know Trent Seven's got a badly injured arm, so it's only going to highlight the fact that it's got a bullseye on it.
Yeah, now Pete Dunne's trying to get that bandage off or the wrapping round to the arm and truly working it. And like I said, Pete Dunne likes to break things as well, stretching back that arm. Fully extending down, trying to get him down for the pin, and only a 1 count. But now he's fighting back with the punches as well, and it's just viciousness, isn't it? I wouldn't like to wrestle Pete Dunne because it looks like he wants to hurt you. And I know he's had a lot of association with William Regal since showing up, and I can see that kind of work. And I think Regal sees himself in Pete Dunne,
Yeah, definitely.
That kind of nasty style, and now he's got the submission hold in as well, just pounding away on that right arm. And you can tell it's a real injury because usually you work on the left arm. So this is the right one, so they kind of written it into the storylines,
Yeah.
And now we're fully extended, getting to that bottom rope. Trent Seven, not out of harm's way, though, is he?
No, double foot stomp onto that injured arm, and it looks certainly to go Pete Dunne's way.
Yeah, I mean, the referee checking, but Pete Dunne not giving him any time. Going for the count now. Ooh. 2. Oh, Pete Dunne. Can't believe it. And it would be a huge opportunity, like we say, for either man to be at an NXT Takeover event, especially in a crowd like Chicago. They're going to be hot tonight, aren't they, the crowd?
Do you reckon it'll be either man's biggest match in WWE thus far?
Yes, without a doubt. Like I say, that Chicago crowd's going to make you feel like a superstar. You're going to come out, it's going to be sold out. They're going to be wanting some great action. And I feel... Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, both men have already come up short against Tyler Bate in previous attempts to try and get his title.
Yes, they have. And this is the thing. Can anybody beat Tyler Bate? We've seen these two guys try before. Will it be any different at TakeOver? The thing about it, as Trent Seven finally hit some offense, the DDT, I think that's just trying to get some separation more than it is anything else at the moment in time.
Yeah. It's certainly going to be hard for him with that injured arm. But he goes suicide dive straight through the second rope and takes out Dunne. I mean, he's not out just yet, Trent Seven.
No, he's not. Like I say, he'll use everything. That right arm's not working, but he's got plenty more body parts that he can use in this match. As like you say, full force into Pete Dunne, into the barricade. As soon as he gets in the ring, though, Dan.
Pete Dunne kicks his arm straight from underneath him.
Excuse me. Now Pete Dunne, like vicious style, grabbing the arm and a kicks to the face as well. He wouldn't mind kicking Trent Seven's head off as he picks him up now. It looks like he's going to go for the bitter end, of course. That is Pete Dunne's finisher. Can he get the job done?
Oh, no. Trent Seven managing with a backslide. And
oh, well, he tried to go for that 7 stars lariat. That 7 light shot with a right, hit with a left. Can he get him? Oh.
Try to get it over early, but Pete Dunne managing to kick out.
I like to say, Pete Dunne, though, doesn't want to underestimate his opponent in this one. You know, I know 7's injured, but if you look, you underestimate him and he gets the job done. And then Pete Dunne's only got himself to blame, hasn't he? You know, he's in a great position at the moment to go to NXT Takeover. And now both men struggling to get to their feet. Look, Pete, even his facial are great, aren't they, you know?
Do you like the gum shield look as well?
Yeah, the gum. It makes sense, doesn't it? You know, especially other wrestlers should wear it. You know, maybe Jeff Hardy after getting his tooth knocked out.
Wow.
Might be a way to go. And Pete Dunne just hit Trent Seven a beautiful German suplex release. I thought he was going to suplex him. Oh,
but Trent Seven managed to reverse it and just plants Pete Dunne, goes for the cover.
This could be it now. Oh,
only a 2 count.
2. Pete Dunne getting frustrated. Well, Trent Seven getting frustrated there, sorry. Pete Dunne showing his toughness as both men are down now. Referee's counting. But, of course, we're going to have the special podcast extra, the British episode coming out next week. We're going to pair that along with the first 2 parts of the UK tournament that we had as well. Make a nice little playlist there on SoundCloud. And, of course, it will be on YouTube as well, as we always do. 7 checking the army, saying to the referee, don't stop this, like you're saying, Dan. Biggest opportunity of his life. Doesn't want the referee to throw it away from him, you know? Can he get back to his feet and try something? Oh.
Dunne sends him straight into the ring post, straight on that right arm.
Oh, my God.
Brutal belly to back suplex there.
And now he picks him up. Oh.
Turns him inside out of a lovely variation of a suplex, goes for the cover.
Oh.
7 managing to kick out.
Pete Dunne looks like he's going to go for the cover again. He's not, straight to that arm. Like submission there, he's trying to get on, isn't he?
He is channeling his inner Brock Lesnar.
Well, if anybody can, I mean, I know not the same size, but if anybody's vicious enough in mentality-wise, I think it is Pete Dunne, to be fair. He does not care about, as we can see with Trent Seven. Referee's checking, say, I will call for it. Seven saying, don't you do it. Pete Dunne to the outside, this can only be a bad thing now. Oh, fuck.
Oh, we've seen some technical matches, you know, in the UK wrestling style, but this is just a vicious assault from Pete Dunne.
Yeah, this is awful. And the Irish whip on the barricade to the outside and still working over the hand as well. Dunne making sure he stops the count. He wants to beat up Trent Seven here. He throws him on the apron now, both men in precarious position, and Pete Dunne just kicking. Look at that disrespect. Just kicking at Trent Seven. So why don't you give up? Another nice boot to the chest, now grabbing his hair. Can Seven survive? Oh.
Manages to deliver a slap, but it just has no effect on Dunne, who carries on with his assault.
And now Pete Dunne's got him up, the suplex on the apron, and Seven knows if he gets hit with this will be over, and he fights out. Punch to the midsection, now he's got Pete Dunne! Oh!
Fucking hell. Well,
like a dragon suplex from there. Folded Pete Dunne in half. Referee's going to check it. Both men might be broken. And of course, thank you everybody for listening as well. We are live. We're on Twitter as well, Facebook, all under the WWE Network Review, Google as well. Listen to us now live or listen to us tomorrow morning, whenever you want. You know, we'll be available on SoundCloud. Of course, with the big NXT Takeover Chicago show coming up, we'll be releasing that in a couple of days as well. Don't worry. And of course, Backlash as well Sunday night with the debut of a man very close to NXT. Shinsuke Nakamura and Dolph Ziggler. It's going to be a great week coming up. It's a real wrestling feel, isn't it, this week?
Yeah, most definitely. You know, especially with Shinsuke Nakamura finally making his debut, going against Dolph Ziggler. I mean, is it a good matchup for Nakamura?
I think it is. I think, you know, with Ziggler, I think the styles do match, you know. I think it's something that we will look forward to on Backlash. But coming back to tonight's action now, and in the UK Championship, number 1 contendership match, both men in the ring, and Dunne looking to go up. Was someone to go to the top right, would he?
Well, you know, any attempt to injure Trent Seven further.
Yeah, and he gets caught there with a chop by Trent Seven. And now Seven and Dunne on the second rope. As Dunn's fighting out now with the elbows to the face. Is Seven going to fall? He's got the arm. And you don't really see a second rope submission that many times. Oh, beautiful by Pete Dunne. The elbow to Trent Seven's elbow. Seven down on the canvas, fighting back with the chops. Dunne's in a precarious position. He's got his back turned now. Looks like Seven's going to maybe try and back suplex him. No, he's going to try and hit the same move he hit on the apron. That kind of reverse dragon suplex. If he hits him off the top, he can be in trouble.
Oh, but Dunne manages to land on his feet. Lovely.
I think the surprise look on Dunne's face as well. You know, he's like, hang on a minute. I did land on my feet. He can't believe it. Going to go for the big forearm, but Seven responds with a punch of his own. Insecurity by Pete Dunne against the ropes, but gets caught with a lariat. This is it, surely. 2, no.
Oh, Pete Dunne managing to kick out.
And that might have been the rest in Trent Seven. That might have been the last thing in Trent Seven's gas tank there, managing to hit the close on a Pete Dunne. Neither Manlow managed to get the job done at the moment, but unbelievable as you see the replay there. Beautiful exchange, and like we say with British wrestling, starts off slow, but really builds up towards the end, doesn't it? You know,
oh, most definitely, yeah. And you know, seeing Trent Seven trying to fight back, even though he's got an injured arm.
Well, listen, both men showing their toughness here tonight, and it could go either way. And Seven's definitely got the crowd behind him now as he tries his best to get to his feet. This has been a war, but of course the title on the line. This is how much it means to both men. And now Trent Seven's going to go for a lariat, but Dunne, fucking hell. He dives on Trent Seven, and now he's got him up there, kind of that Kimura lock, but he's got the grapevine in as well. And Trent Seven, one arm, he's in serious trouble, middle of the ring, nowhere to go. Referee's going to check the arms. No, doesn't need to.
Trent Seven's not going to go down that easily.
Well, the old Hulk Hogan figure shape of I'm not out yet, and now he turns him with a huge dragon suplex. And this last bit of momentum for Trent Seven, Dunne's in serious trouble. And you don't really see many backhands in wrestling, but you just see one now, and he's got him up.
Oh, like a torture rack.
Oh, but Dunne managed to power out. He's in. Bit of range. Oh! Hits it. Go for the cover.
1, 2, 3.
Oh!
Trent Seven gave it all he could. Just couldn't overcome. Pete Dunne.
No, he couldn't. I mean, the arm in the end, like I say, pushing Trent Seven to get done. Pete managed to move his finisher, and Pete Dunne does indeed book his ticket to Chicago. He will face Tyler Bate for the UK Championship. Dan, what did you think of the match?
I thought it was a good match. You know, Trent Seven gave all he could. It wasn't as good as Bate versus Andrews.
Yes.
I'll give it that. But, you know, again, for what it was, Bruiserweight, Pete Dunne, he, you know, done well, and he showed that he's definitely worthy of going against Tyler Bate.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, you know, we talk about Pete Dunne's journey as well. Yeah, very much served. Not as good as the Andrews match, like we said. Everybody who wants to know what that's like, go and listen to the podcast session that will be coming out soon with that match. But I think it makes sense. I think Pete Dunne is the best heel on the UK tournament and the UK Championship side that we've seen. Going against Tyler Bate, I think it will make for an interesting matchup. But that was it for, this is our kickoff match basically, not bad. So we go back to NXT Takeover and we speak about the match card now. Now, Dan, which match are you looking forward to the most?
I think it's going to have to be the women's match. The Oscar, Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross, because see Nikki Cross and Riott, they've got their really big rivalry going on, and Oscar just coming in and just going to kick both their asses, basically.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can talk about it a little bit now because we do predictions as well, and our prediction tables are in the moment. I'm 2-1 up when it comes to NXT Takeover events, but we do it every NXT Takeover. We go for our predictions. Our predictions are now sealed in an envelope, so we can't doctor and or look at them until we do our main show. So, I mean, out of the match, out of Oscar, Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross, who do you think the favourite going into that is?
Definitely Oscar. I mean, you know, she come in, kicked Riott, Nikki Cross and Ember Moon's ass, thus injuring Ember Moon, putting her out of this match. But, yeah, you know, it's definitely going to be Oscar going in, Bookie's favourite.
Well, you say that, but, I mean, this is an opportunity for her to lose her championship without being pinned. And it's something that you've gone on about this past 6 months or so with Oscar, being in a situation where she can lose it without being pinned. So that could happen tonight as well. Plus, though, you've got to look at Ember Moon. You know, because with Ember Moon not being in this match, does it set up a future match between her and Asuka one-on-one? Maybe NXT, you know what I mean? And for the night before SummerSlam could be interesting. I don't know how the tag team ladder match can't be a good match. I think we talk about match of the year that we've had this one. I think the Authors of Pain versus DIY versus the Revival from last Takeover was one of the greatest matches. Don't you agree?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it was a very good match. Both teams fought really well.
Yeah, and I think with a ladder involved with DIY and Authors, I can't see how it can't be. This is probably one match that I don't know who the winner will be. There's a few matches here that I think, they'll be quite predictable. This is one it could go either way. But I will say there will be a ladder broken by one of the Authors of Pain. I think they will go through the ladder, and I do see Ellering getting involved as well. Whether that means DIY is successful or not. So we've just seen Pete Dunne winning the UK, become the new number one contender for the UK Championship. Dan, what do you think of Dunne's chances in Tyler Bate? Are you looking forward to the match first and foremost?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the match, you know, and I think Dunne's got a very good chance. You've seen his evil streak come out there, but he's going against an uninjured Tyler Bate. And, you know, and he nearly come unhinged a couple of times against Trent Seven in his number one contendership match, but, you know, maybe he might come unstuck against Bate.
Well, I think it's time for change. I'm not going to give away my predictions too much, but I think when it comes to this one, I think Tyler Bate has been a great UK champion, of course, but the thing is, it needs to change as well, because with that, I know as Dan is just tickling at me at the moment. We have got the live stream on for the WWE, and of course we've seen the highlights, and we've just seen the Ziggler thing, Ziggler Nakamura thing from the SmackDown. We saw.
Well, I actually had a quick glimpse of us in the crowd as they was fighting, which is very exciting to see in the build-up for the match.
So anyway, we could talk about it. And like I say, I think Dunne winning, he's been unsuccessful once before. I think it would make sense. But if Bate was to walk out as a champion, then I wouldn't really see that much of a surprise, you know. They are saying that JR will be on commentating for this one. So I guess him and Nigel McGuinness will be doing the action for that match as well. And it'll be interesting what to do with the UK title. Interesting to see what to do with the UK talent. We've just had a special here. Like I say, I hope a lot of people watched it so we can start that weekly show as well, you know. Young and Eric Young. Is that a match you're looking forward to, Dan?
Not really. You know, I think he's just going to try and replace Ty Dillinger going against Sanity. So, you know, I think it's not really one that's going to be gripping my attention too much.
Do you think they should have kept Ty Dillinger in NXT just to finish off the Eric Young storyline? Because it wasn't really finished, was it, you know?
No, you know, I think he's certainly better on the main card, and, you know, the response he gets is just overwhelming.
I know the response is well, but this is a problem with NXT. Because you're over, you got a good response. But then you've been put in he's got a kickoff match tomorrow against Aiden English. Now, what would you rather have? A kickoff match on Backlash against someone like Aiden English, or a main event match on NXT against someone like Eric Young, Dan? What would you have?
Well, probably the main event match against Young, but no, you know, I still think he's found his good place on the SmackDown brand. Yeah,
I mean, we have high hopes for Ty Dillinger. With this match, there's always one, maybe, like we might not be kickoff, might not be takeover worthy match, and I think the strong match comes close, because like I say, we haven't had the greatest build up to it, have we? And I'm still not. Are you sold on Roderick Strong?
Not totally, no.
No, I mean, I know we've had the great packages for the past couple of weeks. Of course, we always watch NXT. We have our NXT update. We've just released the WWE Network review, basically, where we looked at latest programs on the network, and of course NXT. We've seen it, and it's not been a great build up either for Strong and Young, has it? You know, it's just been Eric Young Sanity beating up Roderick Strong, and all of a sudden there's a match. Like I say, you have to fill it with something. I am disappointed Drew McIntyre is not on the main show. What I would have done, I mean, this is just me, I would have had a number one contenders match on the card. McIntyre, Cassius Ohno, CN, and maybe Roderick Strong, Eric Young. Winner would face the champion at SummerSlam, you know. But we shall see. And speaking of the champion, of course, I always love watching Bobby Roode's successful title defences, and I think tonight will be no different, Dan. I don't know what you think about this. You know, which way do you think it might go?
I I think it's going to be quite a good match. You know, I'm not sure which way it's going to go too much. I'd like to see Hideo Itami beat Rude to knock that big grin off your face, but you know, you never know.
You never know, but like you say, Itami wrestles differently to even Nakamura, and I think he will make Bobby Roode work harder tonight. The problem with Itami being around for so long the past couple of years, having the injuries that he has, he needs to come up big in one of these matches. So if Itami was to get the victory here tonight, even if it might only be till SummerSlam where he loses it again to, you know, Bobby Roode or whatever it is, that they might do that tonight. But Bobby Roode, like you say, Dan, hasn't let me down at a single takeover since his debut. And, I'm not going to give my predictions away, but that's why I've gone Hideo Itami for tonight.
Well, you know, Hideo Itami, he did come close before he was unfortunately injured.
Yes, he did, yeah.
So, you know, maybe they're going to try and pick up from where he left off.
Well, yeah, and of course, with Itami as well, with the finisher, he's always going to get a big pop with that, isn't he? GTS, you know?
Oh, what, in Chicago?
Tonight, this is the problem. If he still hits GTS and CM Punk chants, though, as well, do you know what I mean? I mean, it could maybe affect Itami. Bobby Roode has got his fans out there. I know you don't like the fact of that, but he has got support.
He's got one or two fans.
I'm expecting a great reaction. I'm expecting a great card of stuff. Like I say, TakeOver always delivers. And I think with these 5 matches as well, I think there's always going to be great things to happen, unless it's going to be the worst TakeOver of all time. We're building up for no reason, you know. But on. And, we'll give away now the company. We're just about to join Renee Young and everybody like that for the live kickoff. But we're going to give away the competition that we had. We're going to announce the winner. So the competition basically was, we had it on our live episode, didn't we? WNR100. Yeah. And the question was, Dan?
The question was, who did we start watching when they made their debut on NXT?
Yeah, so who did we start watching? Very simple, because we thought about it, didn't we? We thought, we want to give some like people basic answer. We don't want to make it too difficult. But then again, we want it to be something that you have to listen to the podcast to understand. Now, we've had a few responses. I'm not laughing at the responses. Thank you very much for people that has got hold of us. Now, of course, there can only be one lucky winner. So if anybody else is interested in buying a WNR podcast t-shirt, please send us an email, let us know, and we might be able to sort that out for you. But there can only be one. Only one winner of the competition. Yeah, some of the entries, most people got it right. Some people, I don't think, really knew what we were talking about. Because the problem is we had a couple of responses. I'm going to give up now. I don't want to embarrass people.
Give us some of the answers, some of the wrestlers that we could have started watching.
AJ Styles.
When he made his debut on NXT.
Yeah, in 2015.
All right, well,
you see this...
Even any wrestling fan would know that.
Yeah, he made his debut in the Rumble the following years.
Yeah.
You know. The Undertaker was one of the answers.
He made his debut like 27 years ago.
Maybe they thought it was like, when did we make our debut watching him? I don't know. Tyler Breeze was another one as well. But the answer was, Dan, do you want to tell the people at home maybe wondering what was the answer to the question?
The answer was Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe. And Dan, I haven't got a drum roll with me. Please, would you like to announce the winner of this competition?
Have you not got a drum roll on you?
I haven't got a drum roll. I have got a round of applause. I'll play the round of applause when you announce it. And the winner, Dan, is...
Mark Murphy.
So well done, Mark Murphy, who answered in Samoa Joe. You win the WNR podcast t-shirt. Now, a couple of things. It does come in just one size, and that's a large. So if you're a little bit larger than that, I'm sorry we couldn't help you very much. But enjoy it anyway. And if it doesn't fit you, put it into a hang it up on a wall, put it in a picture frame. You know, there's many ways to do it. So now what we're going to do, Mr. Murphy, is we will contact you via email, so stay close to your phone as well, get an address. And we were asking you as well, please, to once you do get the T-shirt there nice and safely, if you want to send us a picture on Twitter, where we're at the WWE Network Review as well, showing off your brand new T-shirt, that would be lovely indeed. And of course, with that as well, our lucky winner, you are now a #1 fan. So also, if you want it signed or you know what I mean, anything like that, let us know. We maybe sort a couple of things out. You know, we are mere mortals. But that is a competition. I think it worked well. Next time we'll have another one. The next time we have a really big episode, I suppose. I mean, with the WNR100, it was huge. And I'd just like to take a couple of seconds to just thank everybody who basically listened to the WNR100. I haven't really had a chance to say that. I mean, it was overwhelming, Dan, wasn't it?
It was very overwhelming, yeah.
You know, to have that amount of people listening to it as well. You know, we're just two guys that started off. Well, I started off as serious. Dan thought it was going to be a joke, like we talked about in the 100, and now it's built. And it feels like now it is a proper podcast, and that is thanks to everybody that listens. So we couldn't do it without everybody who tweets us in, who lets us know exactly what's going on. We've had loads of new fans recently as well. We'd like to thank you for listening to us. But we are now going to go and talk about more NXT, as the NXT Kickoff has just started here live in Chicago. So that means we are less than half hour away from everything happening. I just want to talk, because I had this idea when I first saw him back in... when did Drew McIntyre make his first appearance? It was at WrestleMania, wasn't it, in the Takeover? It wasn't Royal Rumble. WrestleMania was
saw him in the crowd. Yeah.
Saw him in the crowd. So this is, as I want to talk about Drew McIntyre, because the interesting thing, Drew McIntyre does open doors. Now, he opens doors for people like Cody Rhodes. Just imagine if you were there and you saw Cody Rhodes in the crowd and you thought, oh, there's a chance he could come back in NXT. It's a perfect way for him to come back and be treated as a legitimate star again, you know?
Most definitely, yeah. You know, you could repackage Curtis Axel to return or debut on NXT.
Yeah, and this is the thing. People haven't seen Curtis Axel for a little while. And then he could come back and then really big up the kind of legacy that he's got with his father. As we see now on the Kickoff panel, it's not Renee Young, it's Charlie Caruso taking over. I'm sure Renee Young's got a busy couple of days with Backlash coming up, and she's joined by Dan
Nigel McGuinness.
Nigel McGuinness sounds like I'm joined by Nigel McGuinness. Say hello, Nigel.
Hello, James.
Yes, and also of course Peter Rosenberg as well, who we've seen on Bring It to the Table. But yeah, back to the Drew McIntyre thing, and not only just Curtis Axel, it could be anybody on the main roster that maybe's had a bit too much limelight, or not really worked out for him. I would have said Tyler Breeze or someone like that to come back, but since the Breeze Ango has been so popular as well with the tag teams, I think they're all right where they are. But definitely people like the Ascension maybe could come back. Aiden English, Bo Dallas.
You know, he's former NXT champion.
Yeah, and I think Drew McIntyre as well has shown, I mean, it goes back to even Umaga doing this, but when a wrestler does get released from WWE, it's what they do, you know, and how they act. Whether if it's like a ride back where you just dish the dirt on all the stories that you have and basically call everybody an idiot, there's no chance you coming back. Whether if it's Drew McIntyre who decided to try and build something for himself, go around, go to Japan, go to Scotland, maybe an Impact Wrestling build up as well. I think it makes perfect sense. What one wrestler, though, we talk about dream of rivals, of course, I've got mine now. We've got Drew McIntyre, you know, part of the roster. Who would be your dream NXT wrestler that you would want to see?
I'm not sure. I'll have to have a think about that.
Yeah, because I think for me, it would be an easy answer. It would be Ricochet. Because Ricochet coming in...
Yeah.
And being we've seen Ospreay as well, will be another guy who could quite happily walk into NXT, be treated as a main eventer as well, you know, and would have great match. I mean, just imagine like Ricochet versus, well, you could even on the main roster, Ricochet versus Finn Balor or AJ Styles or people like that. I think it's definitely time to see that. So we're talking about NXT Takeover. We are excited. Do you think there will be any surprises tonight?
I'm hoping there'll be one or two surprises in there, but you know, if it goes as we think it's going to go, you know, it's still going to hopefully exceed what it's going to be, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
we're going to be really happy with it as we have been throughout the NXT events.
Well, I'm not going to be happy if Bobby Roode does lose his NXT title. You know,
I'm going to be very happy.
No, that'll be the end of it for me. Roode has to retain tonight to any enjoyment of this, you know what I mean? I mean, I would rather me right now, out of 5 matches, get 4 matches wrong and get the Bobby Roode one right and lose the point. Bobby Roode needs to retain. It's his future. It is going to be Bobby. I mean, come on, everybody. We all know it's going to be Bobby Roode versus Drew McIntyre down the line. There is no way about. You can't argue with that. You can't. Who else is there? Who else?
Well, as I mentioned before, Hideo Itami, he was close to winning the title beforehand, went away injured, come back. He's had a lot of momentum since he's come back. So, there is not much reason why Itami couldn't win that match.
Yeah, this is what I'm worried about. And the nearer I get, I start panicking as well. I did this for Nakamura. In January when we sat down, I thought, Nakamura is going to get the victory. Bobby Roode won't be there. But I had faith in him. He did. Second time around, I thought, this has got to be Bobby Roode's time. And now this, because it looks like an easy title defense on paper, doesn't it? You look at it and you think, oh, okay, he'll beat Itami, move on to other things, especially with Roderick Strong now, like we say, getting a bit of a build-up, Cassius Sonos as well, Drew McIntyre. There are more faces, aren't they, than heels in NXT. If Itami was to win it, the only person he'd be able to defend against is CN, apart from
Eric Young.
Eric Young, and maybe they might build up. Do you think they'll finally build up sanity? Do you think that might happen here tonight?
Well, they could do. It has been a long time coming for them.
Yeah, honestly, it has been. You've been waiting to see what their goal is.
Well, I've been very underwhelmed by what Sanity have come in. They've not got any goals. The only thing they've tried to do is recruit Ty Dillinger, and that didn't go too well.
No, exactly. They tried to do it. They beat him up for a while. And then it was like, right, Ty Dillinger's out your hair. You can move on to whatever you want. And they beat up Roderick Strong.
Yeah.
And where's No Way Jose gone? Is he injured? I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him in months.
No idea.
No. What have you thought? We didn't get time to talk about it in the last episode. What have you thought of the NXT the past few weeks? The past 4-5 weeks and the build-up towards Takeover. You enjoyed NXT, Dan?
Again, Bobby Roode's been very quiet. We've seen a good build-up for the NXT Women's title. I think that's had quite a lot of the limelight, coming forward. The ladder match, DIY versus Authors of Pain, could they have chucked another team in there to make it a triangle ladder match, try and rival the great match that we've seen in the past?
But, exactly. And this is the interesting thing as well, that you look at when it comes to predictions of the card. You look at what else is there for them. So we just talked about the main event scene with the tag team division. If DIY was to win, set up Authors of Pain rematch. If Authors of Pain was to win, you would assume DIY would then move on to maybe the main roster, because they deserve it by now, don't they? But then who's next? You've got Heavy Machinery, they're growing on NXT, but I don't think they're ready yet for the spotlight. Maybe it's time for them to bring back the Dusty Classic. Would you want to see the Dusty Classic brought back again?
I'd like to see that, yeah, because we see a few interesting pairings. So, it could be a good tournament. And, we might even get to see Mustache Mountain tag team, which would be great.
Yeah, that'd be cool, wouldn't it, And the thing I like about Tyler Bate, he wears his Blue Peter badge with pride. That's very English of him. People might not know in America what it is, and that's something that you have to be very special to get. I know you've mentioned it.
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah, we're in Chicago, and already on the kickoff, we've seen the arrivals of a few superstars as well. We've seen the Authors of Pain and Paul Ellering leading the way. I mean, the Authors of Pain, they're really underrated. Do you think they're underrated tag team? I think they've pulled out some great matches recently.
Yeah, they're quite underrated, but again, like Oscar, they're protected if they lose the match.
Yes, because then they don't get pinned, do they? And they can.
So then that might think, well, Bobby Roode's not protected for losing it.
No, but Bobby Roode's in big trouble. But Bobby Roode might have to resort to disqualification or count out tonight to try and get out of Dodge with the title. But I think with, like I say, with the Authors of Pain, they've been protected very well. And after just two big monkeys I thought they would be, just gorillas hitting Donkey Kong kind of shit, throwing barrels around, they've actually performed really well. And I don't know if that is just because of DIY and Revival making them have good matches or what it is, We shall see when it's Heavy Machinery versus Authors of Pain if we're going, this is the match of the year, if we're saying,
I've not got high hopes for that match, but, you never know. It might surprise us, as a lot of matches on NXT have.
Yes, we see then the arrival of, we see Asuka. We've talked about how dominant she is. She is so close to beating Goldberg's record as well. At this moment in time, I know you like Goldberg, But being a part of the Oscars, does it feel special, the kind of Oscar undefeated streak at the moment?
It does a bit, yeah, but, again, it's quite underwhelming being that most of it's going to be in NXT.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah. But do you think NXT should be building it up more? Should they be saying, like, Oscar is... Because I don't really feel that they're giving it much publicity, I think they should be saying Oscar is, like, 170 now,
Yeah, aside from the Goldberg tweet...
Yeah.
Referring to Oscar's streak, they've not really said too much about it, but they trying to... So when it does happen, it's more of a...
Well, exactly. That could be the possibility there. And then we see lots of people arriving. Like I say, we see Oscar arriving as well. And then when we see Tyler Bate arrival, we have the Bate versus Dunn promo. That is... It means something. They're trying to make the title mean something to be defended at NXT Takeover. I understand that as well. And finally, on the women's thing, I want to say, I do want to see at the next Takeover, or if it's an NXT, I want to see Ruby Riott versus Nikki Cross in a no disqualification match.
Or in a cage match.
Just with weapons around. Like the Dean Ambrose Jericho Extreme Rules cage match. I just want them seeing go crazy. And I think that is a feud that NXT can concentrate on. And that will offset Oscar's... when she does eventually leave, I think the Ruby Riott, Nikki Cross thing can take over from that, no pun intended.
I think there's much left in their feud, though.
I think there is. I think with a title on the line, I think it could mean more. I think they could build it up for like a year or so. I think there's a lot more mileage in it. We don't really know why they hate each other. We know they got a problem in the past, but that's what I want to see, here in NXT is the fact of the real hatred. It's kind of like Mankind Undertaker feud, when they're carrying on for how many... They've always got that connection with each other. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens as well is another feud like that. And they did, NXT and stuff. And now we're going to see a promo for the DIY Authors of Pain thing. So I think that's basically it, We've been talking about... We've built up NXT. We will be having our NXT... like I say, Takeover Chicago show in the next couple of days as well, where you will find out all the results and the prediction table as well. Will it be James? Will it be Dan? Of course, everybody vote #Team James. We all want to be a part of that. We all know that. But no, thank you very much, everybody at home now listening and live. We hope we've built up the excitement. I mean, rest on... NXT Kickoff here, like I say, we see the DIY thing. Expect to see a couple more promos for the Bobby Roode Hitami and the Oscar match as well. Usually you have someone joining the panel, but I think maybe Peter Roseberg is just the entertainment for tonight. So we're going to finish now. Like I say, thank you very much for listening to us. We will continue this, like we say. We've got Backlash coming up as well. We've got a huge summer. We've got the Summer of Love basically coming up as well, where we're going to look at WCW and WWF during 1997. And if anybody didn't know that period, it is unbelievable because you've got the Sting-Hogan feud going on, of course, for the NWO as well. The Macho DDP feud over in the WWF. You've got Steve Austin, of course, just finding his character now. And you've got the DX becoming a group as well. It's fantastic. 97 is a great time period, isn't it,
It's
Daniel?
a bloody good year, yeah.
And that is 20 years ago, so we're going to be doing that all throughout the summer. And, of course, speaking of 20 years ago as well, in November, we will have the Survivor Series 1997 as well, and talk about all the screw job. But anything else about NXT TakeOver, Dan, you want to mention?
No, I just hope it's a great event and we're pleasantly surprised by it.
Yeah, so that is it. Don't forget you can find us on Twitter at WWE Network Review or...
at Vince McDan, WWE.
I'm at J_Rowlands. We're on Facebook as well.
Facebook, you can come and with the WWE Network Review podcast, or you can come and find me and add me as a friend. I am Vince McDan.
Across all the Google platforms, of course, the WWE Network Review on Google+. You can send us an email to WNRpodcast@gmail.com. And across YouTube as well, we're uploading all the new episodes there straight away, so everybody can listen to us in various ways as well, like on SoundCloud.
On your phone.
We're on Stitcher Radio as well. We're on Spreaker, where you can listen to us when we do our live shows as well. And iTunes, subscribe, rate, and review. But no, thank you for listening. We're going to enjoy NXT TakeOver now. We're going to take a little 10-minute break and then come back for the action. And of course, you can listen to us there. I have been James Rowlands, and as always, I was joined by
Dan White.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and bye.
Bye.